However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of Reserve Corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hopeseek Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hopeseek Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Works cited Danganronpa 0. What? Is there a Danganronpa 0 that I don't know about? Oh, they're from Oblivion? Yeah, that's why I haven't played that game yet. With heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hopeseek Academy. What irony. For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident, talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. He always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But ultimate hope. Nagato mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagato said was the true meaning of hope, but for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. Given you a talent? That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said that the Reserve Corps students in the Reserve Department began uprising. Then what about me? You don't think that there is? If there is, you missed the memo? What part are you exactly talking about? Because I feel like we're getting a lot of stuff that's revealed to us, and I'm like, this all sounds nuts. Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. Tragedy of Hope's Peak has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Oh, it better not be what I think it is, which I kind of called earlier, a few days ago. Wow, I don't know why, but I'm dropping a lot of frames. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, you mean about Danganronpa 0? I can real quick if you want me to. Yeah, like, I wonder if, like, Ultra Despair Girls is supposed to be a prequel or something like that, which we haven't played yet, but I was also told to not play that until I played this. Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy of Hopeseek Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? Chris, do you want me to tell you? You can tell me if there is a 0. I don't think it'll be a spoiler or anything. Like, don't give me any details about it, but you can let me know if there is one or not. Thank you. What kind of incident was it? And who's the other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who's that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. I don't remember that zebra print being on the wall. Are we going to be on a different floor now? No, it says 5th floor. I bet there's going to be a different door open now, though. There's the dojo. Looks like the biolab. Yep, biolab is open. Raw. It's raw, guys. This is where the bodies were being kept at one time. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Oh, that's creepy. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is... Hey, real quick, manga. Are mangas scary? Because that looks scary. I thought the manga were like happy stories. And I copy paste what it is because it's kind of confusing. How much text is it? If it's not a whole lot of text, it's fine. There's another time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? That incident, what was that incident really all about? Might turn out to be something lame. Oh. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. See, that's creepy. Story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with a sentence. The tragedy of Hope Seek Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the reserve course students that triggered the tragedy of Hope Seek Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in, but the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. It's about 4 phrases? Sure. Go for it. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. Oh, okay. So it features events between Danganronpa 3 and the what? Alright. Does it say when I should read that? By any chance? It's like I just don't want to get spoiled of anything, but I wonder if there's reason to read it. It sounds like it's like a graphic novel or something. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain, just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope Seek Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope Seek Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. You know, this is all too real. It's kind of like the day and age we live in. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Wow. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. Too real, my man. Too real. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. Ice cold! And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? Family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What happened to them? What's happening? Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? No. Yelling into the room. How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like the manga? Manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you to not remember that, it's such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories, the incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it. There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you all the clues here are real?
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live, well, just lives in the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. So that's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as a headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Dabrock Island or stay here. So basically, live on the island like nothing's wrong, or live here in this world where it's messed up. It doesn't say when I should read it. Okay. I might look it up on Amazon or something to see like if I can pick it up for cheap or something. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. There's no way I'm going to do that, but to do what he wants. Despair like that can't simply exist. The outside world should be filled with hope, just like now. Perhaps, no, that's definitely it. The tragedy. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is Ultimate Despair Group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope Seek Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope Seek Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? Probably. $50? Is there a digital version? 50. It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. $50. Unbelievable. Phew, that was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Probably, I bet they're gonna have us go back to the class. Oh, 5B is open. It might be Canadian, I don't know. I didn't check. I don't think it would be that much of a difference. That's crazy. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. No! It's money! Dang it, it's not! Well, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasing well? Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No!
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. High school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. Getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise, it's about Ultimate Despair. Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. High school girl?
yes, indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima. Look at that. If it's $38, it's still crazy. I'm gonna have to see if I can find like a digital version of it or something. Are mangas usually like more happy-go-lucky type things? Or is manga is manga anime in book form? No, that doesn't make sense because manga, maybe. Let me know. Junko Enoshima?
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. Excuse me. And created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some effed up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. Manga is basically a comic in book form. Okay, so it's like a graphic novel then. Excuse me. Is there like a certain like style that it's in? With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
Huh?
Then what was their purpose?
Huh?
What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they do without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god, like a mother providing food to her children, they dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. Oh my gosh. Does this explain why when we were talking to Nagato in Chapter 0, why he said that the arm was taken to him well, and it looked like Junko's arm? He mutilated himself to try and put her arm on his body. What? That can't be it. Depends what manga series you read. There's Pokemon manga and there's a Danganronpa manga. Basically, manga is made up of different series like Pokemon and... Okay, so it's basically just that in book form. That's cool. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. There's no way something like that crazy is possible.
what?
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hopeseek Academy? Alright, Fish, take care. Get some rest. Get some rest, kiddo. It was good to see ya. And say hi to Wolf and Caitlin for us as well. Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so the 2,357 students on the reserve department all committed mass suicide. What? Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students? Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded, huh? Is that me?
Damn it.
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate Despair Junko Enoshima? It doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima is already dead. Huh? Yeah, see? Hey Hiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima is really dead.
Huh?
What, you didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. We haven't been there yet, but we saw the bloody classroom in Danganronpa 1. Bloody classroom? No, wait. What was that you said about the Killing School Life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope Street Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey.
For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead.
Like...
Turns out the Killing School Life was part of a whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope Street Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope Street Academy, and she took away their memories? That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. The limit to being a cool a-hole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
So...
Students of Hope Street Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. It's messed up.
Huh.
That messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who's our enemy? Junko Enoshima is already dead. Are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind us? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? It's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in... The killings we're involved in resemble that Killing School Life. Like the Hunger Games? I don't know if it's like the Hunger Games. Because weren't the Hunger Games... kids trying to get food for their little towns or something? Who's controlling Monokuma this time? I have no idea. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation.
No shit!
If the students from Hope Street Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose some fake. I mean, I can't speak tonight. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? Cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School Life? Okay. Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that?
Ooh,
One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character out. You're not making sense
well
again.
now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside.
Yeah!
I'll raise them flags like crazy. Okay. That's great. Should I go? I guess so. 4th floor? Oh my. Huh? Changed to a different hallway again. So sudden, what's going on? What's going on to make something like this happen? I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. But it's so surprising. Hi. Kane's twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. What happened?
Based on my gut feeling.
Well, you know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. What do you mean, who?
So,
I don't know, it's just my gut after all.
Just my gut.
But still, her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time. Oh, music room. The main cast, huh? This is like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Looks like it's some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in the music room? Also has the Future Foundation logo at the top. Not just that, the mark engraved into the monument is a symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol is a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy? Something known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma completely made it up. Okay. Hologram. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? Floating letters are forming a sentence. Looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information a person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. They're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy. It's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko Enoshima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy? 15 students? Is that about us? So, excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore? Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Okay. Guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed the Future Foundation is on our side at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy and they took us in to protect us. If that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. Not as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma, if he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Enoshima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? Maybe it's Sea King Industries. The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. Is there really a research facility on this island? There should be other Future Foundation members here. Somehow there are still so many mysteries. Let's look at the piano if we can. It's a very nice looking grand piano, might be very valuable. Buki might have been able to play this. It's a recording studio. Oh really? I never read all of those books. I never read any of them. And I only saw the first movie. Oh, the office is open. The teacher's lounge, actually, is what they call it. Oh wait, no, we were able to go in here before. What are we doing in here? This feels different from a classroom. It's the teacher's lounge, dude. It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind of has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that.
Well,
More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already.